What's up, everybody? Malcolm Spinetti here once again for another movie review. This time we take a look at The Thing. Not the 1982 version, but the 2011 prequel. Yeah, I may have called it a sequel last week, but it's actually a prequel, as the thing at the end actually leads into the original. Didn't know that. Anyway, we take a look at it. Essentially, the story of the movie is, once again, not a remake, not a reboot. It starts off with a scientist or some guy finding this alien spaceship and hiring a crew of scientists to excavate it, and things go terribly wrong. Going through the story, it had a lot of plot holes. There are a lot of things that don't make sense that took away from it. Like, why would, and I'm trying to not fill this review with spoilers. Why would Person X react like this if he's supposed to be, personnel? Why would he? It doesn't make sense that they would react this way, especially to the point of what they do. I know that's kind of vague, but once again, I'm trying to keep it without spoilers. But a lot of things don't make sense all throughout this. Especially in the sense of the alien. With aliens, you can have it one of two ways. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine. You can have it one of two ways, and actually the video game Resistance does this, and I've never liked it. Now, you can either have an alien be feral, like a creature or a beast or something scary like that, like the alien from Aliens. You can do it like that and it'll work. However, you can't have him be so intelligent at the same time that they can create spaceships, which is the case here. In the context of the Thing creature, it makes absolutely no sense that it's able to build a spaceship. And if you're able to make a spaceship, you're gonna want to make it look like something like, I don't know, the Enterprise or something like that. You're not going to. It ends up looking sort of like a high-tech beehive, but no, it makes no sense. So you're apparently supposed to believe this thing, which is supposed to be a disease, built a spaceship and decided to come to Earth, which just makes the whole story and background more perplexing to me. But I digress. The story itself, they deviate from the original concept of the original Thing. Now, for those of you who haven't seen it, the 1982 version of The Thing was meant more of a psychological sci-fi thriller in that you had no idea who the Thing was. Like, the whole thing about it was that it would instill paranoia in you, as all the characters would think of new ways to try to figure out who is the Thing and who is a real guy. And even at the end of the movie, you didn't know who the Thing was. So, or if the creature was dead, and it's a very bleak ending, which, one of the many reasons it's a classic. This movie doesn't go in that direction. This movie, it pretty much, it tries for a little bit, probably more of an homage to the original movie, but it for a little while it's like, hey, how do we do this? And then from that, after it's done with that little homage, from that moment on, it's all of it is pretty much like a run from the monster type of thing. It turns into a Jason movie at this point, in which case they're running from the monster the entire time as it reappears and appears in like several freaky instances, which I'm not gonna fault it on. I'm not gonna make fun of it for doing that, mainly because it's not gonna measure up to the original, so I appreciate the fact that it tried something new. However, does it do it well? Yeah, well, actually the scary part, yeah, when they're running from the creature and they're fleeing for their lives, it's actually pretty exciting. But the sum of the movie makes no sense. Like I said, you have no idea. Like I said, it's like full of questions. Like, why can the alien who's supposed to be this mad feral beast, how is it intelligent enough to build a spaceship? Or why are these characters reacting the same way? Or why would the X person hire this person that he knows is an expert, but then not listen to a word she says afterwards? It's full of these little type of moments, and it sort of takes you out of the movie. And let's talk a little bit about special effects now. The story now, but the action and whatnot is actually pretty good. But the special effects for the creature, I would say, looks very much like a really good cinema scene from a PS3. And take that as for what you will. As good as it would look in a video game, it really does stand out as far as being in the movie. That being said, however, the designs of the creatures are actually pretty top-notch. It's very, very incredible. They look very much like something out of Dead Space, but you know, in the context of what this movie is, I think it really works. The creatures are very nightmarish, and the way you can see the characters is in them is really cool. However, once again, since it looks like a video game graphic, it really stands out and it can take you out of it. As far as did we have fun watching it, because I watched this with my wife. In the high tense parts, yes. When they were running from the creature, it was great. However, everything else, which unfortunately is a vast majority of it, we were having difficulty following it. It didn't really make sense, especially in how it leads to the next film. I mean, I personally hate it when, a little thing I have with reboots or something from the 80s being made today. I just want to say I'm all for it. Like, great example, let's take a look at Transformers. Yeah, believe it or not. I personally hate the movies. I watched the first one, thought it was okay, didn't like the fact that they killed Jazz, that was bull. But I watched the second one, and I was so disgusted. I still have yet to see the third one, and I'm cringing at the fact that Grimlock, my personal favorite of the Transformers, is going to be in the fourth one. But I haven't seen him because, you know, Michael Bay doesn't do him justice. But I'm not unhappy that they exist, because thanks to Michael Bay, and there's a whole new popularity with the Transformers, and we've gotten stuff sort of like the Transformers, the Fall of Cybertron, and in those video games, which are really good to the characters. We've gotten two really, really good animated series that are once again really true to the characters. And those wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Michael Bay, which is the reason why, one of the many reasons to do a reboot slash reimagining of a series is to introduce it to this current generation of consumer, as well as make money. And by doing that, you know, it leads to talk about it, increase fandom, and it can make a return. However, in the case of this, it really does no service to the original. It just makes things more confusing when I thought that the original that came out in 1982, and I apologize for keep using original, I mean the first one, the 1982 version. I thought the original one was a lot better. It ended it on a flat note. It was a creature that came from space, and and it was killing people. That was fine. That was easy. Now you raising all these questions like, why does it have a spaceship? Why is it actually intelligent? Why are you doing all this stuff? Like, to simplify it in the story, you ever see like a horror movie where the characters act really dumb just for the sake of getting it to a point where they're desperate? Like, no normal human being would react in the way that they did, and it was literally just so they can be more of a predicament when the creature arrives. And that's this movie in its entirety. Would I rewatch it? No. In fact, Well, to the movie's credit, and going back to my original thing about the remakes and reboots, I'm more likely to pop in the 82 version just to get the taste of this one out of my mouth. But as far as this one, no. As far as a rating, I would say pass on it. If you're an absolute thing diehard, and I'm warning you, you're not gonna like it, go ahead and watch it if you want to see the canon now for this series. Go right ahead and pop it in, but otherwise you'll be fine skipping it. In fact, better yet, go watch the 82 version. I think you're gonna like it a whole lot better. All right, and that does it for this review. Tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow we're gonna take a look at The Purge, which I don't know if you remember, but me and the fat kid would joke about this film all the time. And just because of the basis, for those of you who don't remember the story, for one night a year, there is no laws in the world. And that's just for one night. And because of this one law, there's no crime every day in the year. Because, you know, people just want the one day, apparently, to cause a crime, right? I'm not expecting to like this one, but it's a modern day horror film. What are you gonna do? All right. Thanks very much for joining me. See you tomorrow.